Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with week number 6 in BUBL, Bubby's Ultimate Battle League. My name is CBAD, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings. We are taking on my friend Vandy, coach of the Detroit Piptons. This is going to be an exciting matchup. I have never had the opportunity to play Vandy. I believe it may be his draft league debut. Do not quote me on that. He has a very, very scary team. But unfortunately for him, I'm feeling good after last week. If you guys missed the game against Numb Nexus, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Probably the best game of Pokemon I've ever played in my life. I'm hoping to keep that momentum, carrying on into week 6, carrying on into week 7 against Uzi, all the way to the top. I want that trophy. I don't know if there is a trophy. John, make sure there's a trophy at the end of this league. Thank you. I appreciate it. There will be some text floating somewhere on screen in post-production if you want to hop right on ahead of the battle. Always recommend you guys watch the team builders. That way you guys know what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. But yeah, like I said, team is very, very tough going into it. It's gone through a few different iterations. Of course, thank you to everybody that's helped prep for this match, of course. Definitely always good to just have some insight and some assistance when going into this. You can kind of get narrowed in on like one thing and then not realize like there's other problems outside of there. So always definitely good to get a second set of eyes on that. So I appreciate everybody's help on that. Yeah, we are looking okay for playoffs right now. Let me take a look. We're currently, so top 8 coaches go in. We are currently 5th place with a 3-2 with a +2 differential. Surrounding us is Joey Pokemon 3-2 +7. Right behind us is D-Ray and the San Diego Spirits 3-2 with a -1. 7th is 2-3 +1. 8th is 2-3 -3 right now. So we've got some areas. If we can play consistently as we have been these past few weeks, I think we're going to be in a shoe-in for playoffs. But I don't want to get ahead of myself until we know for certain, because there's the people that look at the brackets and can give you every if this, that, or then, whether or not a coach is in there. Until someone does that, I'm not going to feel secure in my own place. I'm going to play my gosh darn butt off. That being said, I appreciate your guys' time. You guys are going to start to see some teams appear on screen right about now. My opponent has a team that consists of Garchomp, Metagross, Thundurus Incarnate, Primarina, Talonflame, Porygon 2, Annihilate, Alolan Muck, Shaman, and Komala. Some things to note about my opponent's team. Forms of hazard removal in the form of Defog on Talonflame and Rapid Spin on Komala. Lots of rockers in Annihilate, Garchomp, and Metagross. A Spiker in the form of Garchomp. Not too much priority that I could see coming. Like Bullet Punch on Metagross is a given. Other than that, I don't see like Aqua Jet, Primarina. I don't see like Quick Attack, Shaman, Shadow Sneak, Muck. Let's talk about what I think is going to show up here. So looking at the team, I think Garchomp has to show up, right? I think Garchomp and Metagross are disgusting. I think Primarina has to show up. I think Thundurus is a great Terra Captain. I don't think Talonflame shows up. I have a Raging Bolt that says like what I have a Raging Bolt. Why does Talonflame show up? So I don't think Talonflame shows up. Porygon 2 is an interesting case because naturally, like, it's pretty bulky with Eviolite and things like that. I've got a pretty good fighting type in Great Tusk. I've got access to like stamina boosting body press with Mudsdale. So I don't know if P2 could show up. P2 could show up like as a defensive Terra Captain, perhaps. So maybe like a little asterisk on that. Annihilape's always scary. I always think Annihilape is going to show up no matter what. So I'll put Annihilape down for my thoughts here. Alolan Muck to me doesn't make the most sense, right? I don't have a natural psychic type on my team. However, if Vandy's normal types go down, or if he doesn't bring those, that's really the only check to any sort of ghost offense from Basculegion and Gholdengo. So I could see it coming to play. I also see merit in Shaman as like a physical check for Basculegion, for Great Tusk, things like that. So Komala, I don't think shows up. I think it's a hard time to bring really either hazard removal in front of it. Like Talonflame could make more sense because it threatens Gholdengo with the Flare Blitz. So like back of my mind maybe. So I think so 5 confirmed. I'm going to say Garchomp, Metagross, Primarina. Like a Terra Ground, Terra Fairy, Thundurus maybe. Like I said, I always think Annihilate has to show up, and then in order of what I think would show up in that 6th slot, we're gonna call that the flex spot. Alolan Muck makes sense to stop ghost offense. Shaman makes sense after that to help out with Great Tusk and to help out with Basculegion, rain offense. Talonflame thereafter, like a special Talonflame maybe with like Hurricane if I like went with a a rain mode like Gale Wings, Defog, Hurricane Spam, things like that. So that's kind of my thoughts, just looking at the matchup and just first time I'm really looking at it and like calling out a 6. That's really my thoughts here. Let's go ahead and start talking about our team. First up, we are bringing Terra Captain Stack this week. He is holding his Muscle Band with the Tinted Lens ability. We have Swords Dance, Trailblaze, Knockoff, and Leech Life, 228 EVs in HP, 128 EVs in attack, 152 in speed with an Adamant Nature. What does this do for us? So, at 152 speed with the Adamant Nature, we hit 258 speed. At +1 speed, we are now outspeeding the entirety of Vandy's team, Talonflame and below, which is great. We want to make sure that obviously something like Gale Wings is busted on Talonflame, otherwise it does have that priority there. Through means of Stealth Rock, pre-existing damage, what have you. Knockoff, really just hard hitting this week. Knockoff at +2 with Terra, we are running Terra Dark, is just a menace, right? If I'm able to get a Swords Dance up with a bulky low kicks and just kind of start going from there, it might be game. We've seen what low kick can do, so that's kind of my thought process on it. Leech Life, really good for the recovery, quite honestly. If I do see Shaman showing up, that is a great just Leech Life victim right there. Good recovery. I mean, with Tinted Lens, we're able to boost, obviously, those not very effective moves being +2. We're then also getting a lot more back because of our attack stat. Muscle Band is boosting our attack by an additional 10%. This went through a few different iterations. It was like a Grassy Seed low kick set at first. We've seen like some Scarf sets I've tossed around, but Muscle Band made the most sense. I didn't really want to like boost the Dark move and then not boost the Bug move or vice versa. So we've already got the boost on the Dark move from Terra Dark. I really like just that added benefit of the Muscle Band, just a little extra to get us over the hump on some of those. A lot of my calcs went into like max HP mons, like with very little, if any, defensive investment. Some of them were max and still took quite a bit of damage, but that little bit of extra chip, just in case there's a little bit more than what I had planned for, should hopefully go a long way there. 128 in attack after a Swords Dance. Like I said, we're pretty much 2-hit KOing, or we're pretty much OKOing everything on Vandy's team, as long as we have some pre-existing damage off, which will be great. And then the rest of our bulk is in HP, 228 EVs in HP, really just to give us the most staying power. No real calcs into that, just bulk, just take a hit there. Next up, we are bringing Titano Strike, the Raging Bolt. They are holding their choice Scarf with the Photosynthesis ability, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Dragon Pulse, and Draco Meteor. We have 128 EVs in defense, 232 in special attack, 148 in speed with Modest Nature. What does this do for us? So this is actually going to be my lead going into this week. Because of two reasons. So first off, we have just enough speed to outpace his own Garchomp. And I don't necessarily know that like his own Garchomp would lead unless it was a bulky set, right? If this is for whatever reason a Scarf Garchomp, like Scarf Adamant can be brought against me, he has a very small chance to OHKO us with Earthquake. And if it is like a Scarf Jolly set, we always live Scarf Jolly Earthquake. If you're optimizing the Garchomp, it only needs to run, it can be Scarf Adamant for low kicks. It cannot be, it doesn't need to be Scarf Jolly, because if I'm Scarf Cinchino, I'm still going to outspeed that. So Adamant Scarf makes the most sense if he is there. We take the Earthquake. Most importantly, we have a 93.8% chance to OHKO with Dragon Pulse. 93.8% to standard Garchomp. If he is like a max HP set from there, we have a 12% chance to OHKO with Pulse, which is why we have the Draco Meteor. If we're right in off rip, we can kind of get some sort of damage gauge right there. Just looking at the team comp, maybe just a good gut call on what is that going to be. We've got both those stabs just enabled to hit. Other than that, Thunderbolt and Volt Switch, once Garchomp goes down, Raging Bolt can potentially pick up a kill every time it comes in, depending on the Thunderous set as far as a Terra type, something like Thunderbolt or Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor going great. Talonflame doesn't want it. Shaman doesn't want the Dragon move. Annihilate doesn't want a hard-hitting move like that unless it's like an AV special defense set. Metagross is going to get worn down by the Volt Switches. Komala, not really showing up. Primarina, gone. Porygon 2 can sponge them depending on the set, but again, it's going to have to be a call on his Thunderous Terra, his Porygon 2 Terra. What really do we have in the back there? 128 EVs in defense, really just to make sure we can take some of those physical hits. He's got a very heavily physically offensive team. Garchomp, Metagross, even Alolan Muck has like a pretty sizable physical attack stat to just take a knockoff on. So if it is like an AV set there, maybe it can take a hit, go for a big knockoff onto us from there, and could just put us in a little bit of a position. So I wanted to make sure we had a little bit more physical bulk there on the defensive side. Speaking of physical bulk on the defensive side, we have Cannonbolt, the Great Tusk. He's holding his booster energy with the Photosynthesis ability. Bulk up, Rapid Spin, Headlong Rush in close combat, 248 EVs in HP, 4 in attack, 4 in defense, 252 in speed with the Jolly Nature. What does this do for us? Someone in the comment section the other day said that's my new favorite thing, so I appreciate you. Thank you. The combination of Headlong Rush and Close Combat, because I don't see Talonflame as a top contender this week, right? Because of that, the combination of Headlong Rush and Close Combat really goes a long way in this matchup. I mean, just phenomenally goes a long way here, right? Thunderous is really, in my mind, the only check to that, and I've got 5 other supporting mons that can really do some good damage into it. So after the booster speed pups, we are getting our speed boost. We're going to be faster than anything that Vandy on Vandy's side of the field naturally. If he is bringing like a Scarf Shaman, Scarf Garchomp, things like that, you know, they will be able to outspeed us because naturally we've got a base 87 HP or speed, so anything above that, Annihilate, Shaman, Garchomp, Thundy, Talonflame, they're going to be able to outspeed us, which is one of the benefits of bringing Rapid Spin. Rapid Spin support is good for the low kicks. He's got some pretty solid Stealth Rockers on his team with the Spiker and Garchomp as well. So I want to make sure that, like, if we can position low kicks pretty well, being able to just remove those hazards is nice. Also gives us the +1 speed boost. So if it is a Scarf Garchomp, a Scarf Thunderous, we're now a +2 Great Tusk. You already know the vibes. Bulk up, just being able to boost our attack and our defense goes really nicely into something like, again, like a Garchomp and Annihilate, being able to kind of bulk up right in front of it and get those boosts and then hit strong with either, again, a Headlong Rush or a Close Combat. Really goes a long way this week. Next up, star of the show from last week. We're bringing her back. Rose the Floor, just holding her leftovers with the Flower availability. Moonblast, Psychic Noise, Wish, and Calm Mind. We have max investment in HP, 92 EVs in defense, 108 in special attack, 56 in speed with a modest nature. What does this do for us? I'm glad you asked. So with this speed stat, we end up hitting about 200 or so speed. This is for really any, like, faster, so most notably, just like looking like tit for tat, this does outspeed a max speed admin Alolan Muck if he decides to go that route. Porygon 2 probably doesn't have a speed investment, if we're being honest. Primarina can have some speed. It ends up hit 156 without any investment, so we've got some wiggle room there in case we are faster than that. We're faster than Kamala, again, with minimal speed investment, mid speed investment. That's another 166 Pokemon. Metagross, I feel, has to have some good speed behind it. We've got a lot of Pokemon that naturally outspeed it. It's base 70. We have a lot of 75s and up. So I think if it does show up, it is either going to be very bulky, maybe a Scarf set, who knows, but we will have enough for that. This is not my Metagross check, by the way. I'm just speaking speed-wise there. When we start taking a look as far as the damage output that it has, the Moonblast resists on his team include, let me see here, Metagross, which I've already talked about, I don't want to take on, and Talonflame that I really don't think it shows up. And if it does, and that's like the MVP on his team this week, great, fantastic, got me. But I don't see it come into play. So that being said, once Metagross goes down, and again, I have a low kicks that hits it super effectively, I have a Raging Bolt that constantly chips at it, and I have a Great Tusk that chips it away, Moonblast goes really unguarded into Vandy's team. Wish, Calm Mind, Leftovers really help to keep us around, keep that longevity flow in there. Psychic Noise is good. It helps us with things like Recover on the P2, any leftovers that are floating around on something like the Primarina, like Leech Seed, Shaman, potentially also having something like Synthesis, Drain Punch, leftovers on the Annihilate, things like that go a long way. The max HP investment, we're able to obviously toss off a big Wish, pass it into the rest of our team, which is good. Moonblast specifically, I was taking a look into something like an Annihilate here. And as we look at really just how hard that can hit, if we are talking about just like a max HP set, right? If we are talking about just a max HP set, +1 Moonblast is able to OHKO that right out the gate. Now, a lot of special defense investment. We're able to get some 2-hit KOs on there, depending on the rolls, depending on how much he has invested on there. Psychic Noise is also great because it can get some good chip on the Annihilate right out the gate without proccing like Defiant from a special attack drop from Moonblast, which would be like the last thing I absolutely want. So maybe going for a Psychic Noise for just a little bit of chip, and then going for a Moonblast to finish the KO is the way to go into the Annihilate there. And then the 92 in defense just to, again, give us a little bit of physical bulk. We've got a fantastic special defense stat, 154 special defense, boosted by Calm Mind, so the 92 in defense just made the most sense to puppet there to take some of those other hits. Next up, Cream the Gholdengo. They're also holding their leftovers with the Good as Gold ability, Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, Make It Rain and Recover, 32 EVs in defense, 152 in special attack, 88 in special defense, 236 in speed with a modest nature. What does this do for us? We are outspeeding Metagross and below, so Metagross, Komala, Primarina, Porygon 2, and Alolan Muck. Gholdengo really just kind of sits in front of Porygon 2 unless it has like Dark Pulse coverage, Terra Dark, Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, what have you, which is really great because we're obviously not taking anything from like Thunder Waves, Tri-Attacks, you name it. So we're able to typically get a free Nasty Plot off in front of that. Shadow Ball and Make It Rain, I think, are really spammable into Vandy's team if we can get the right situation going down. Recover, always good to have a little bit of longevity there. The 152 in special attack with a modest nature allows us to... this was a specific calc against... a Metagross, an offensive Metagross with Stealth Rocks up. If we're able to get Stealth Rocks up, which spoilers, that's the last mon that's bringing the rocks. So hold your horses. Hold your horses. That's actually really funny when you see the last. Anyway, it's Mudsdale, but give me a minute. The Shadow Ball does Oko an offensive Metagross after rocks without any sort of boosts. If it is max HP, you know, somewhat of a bulkier set, it is a 2-hit KO after rocks, but maybe we do already have a +1 or a +2 boost from the Nasty Plot and some Make It Rain spam, and we're able to get some good damage off on there. Leftovers, just a little bit of staying power behind us there as we go for recover and things along those lines as we try to set up a Nasty Plot. The 88 EVs and special defense help us out with some specially offensive hits from things like Shaman, from some variants of Thunderous from Primarina. Again, the speed helps us with max speed Metagross and below. The overall 32 EVs in defense, again, just tossed in there so we can take a physical hit a little bit better. Last but not least, you heard it here first, folks. It's a Mudsdale. We're bringing Peter the Mudsdale. Again, another MVP from last week, one of the lower tier pickups that we made in free agency that I'm really just impressed by, quite honestly. They're also holding the leftovers. It's triple leftovers week. There was a variation of this team that had 3 choice scarves, so bear with me. I think we're okay with this. Stamina ability, we have Stealth Rock, Protect, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. 4 EVs in HP, 32 in attack, 252 in defense, 220 in special defense with an Impish nature. Say it with me. What does this do for us? Leftovers protect, bada bing, bada boom, we're there. We've got the rocks. There's only 2 mons weak to rocks on his side of the field, but we are able to get some pretty nice chip damage on there, break some sashes, determine if things have some boots, so on and so forth. Edgequake coverage goes really nicely into his team. Rock Slide into the Talonflame, Rock Slide into the Thunderous, depending on the Terra type. If he Terras, Earthquake could even be better. Earthquake into the Garchomp, Rock Slide into the Shaman, Earthquake into the Annihilate, into the Metagross, into the Kamala, into the Primarina, into the Porygon 2. You already get it. So the max defense investment with 4 with HP with our leftovers, we are actually 3-hit KO'd by Life Orb Garchomp. We're able to get some good damage back off in return with Earthquake. The rest of that, the 32 EVs in attack, allow us to Oko a max HP Talonflame with Rock Slide. I know I said it's not coming. Still wanted to have, if I really didn't think it was coming, I wouldn't bring rocks and I wouldn't bring rock coverage, quite honestly, but there's like that chance. There's that chance, right? It could be the flex spot, but it also does super effective damage in Thunderous prior to Terra. So that's doing about 2/3 damage to Thunderous from there. Then the leftover damage, or excuse me, the leftover investment, 220 EVs in special defense. Again, a little bit of staying power. We don't want to take a special hit, quite honestly, like a P2 special attack, maybe. He's got to worry about triggering my stamina, which then boosts a body press. But spoilers, I don't have body press this week because fighting isn't like super spammable in. I've got the close combat on Great Tusk, but like I don't want every one of my mons to have like fighting coverage. So he's got to be worried about that. He's with an Ice Beam, something along those lines. I never want to take a water move from Primarina ever in my life. Ever. Same thing with Shaman. So like really the bulk is there on like some residual type, you know what I'm saying? So we're still able to get some big hits off. We're able to take some physical hits, switch around with our team, get some good damage out. That's going to be the team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys at the battle. All right, please get ready for my beautiful recreation of the first few turns, because this is karma getting back at me for ever saying, how do people not realize they're not recording when they're playing a draft league match? Like you set everything up beforehand, blah, blah, blah. I didn't hit record. This is karma. Enjoy my MS Paint representation of the first few turns of the game. It's very quick into I'd say probably the first 3 to 4 turns until I realize it. So we'll go on ahead and recreate that here really quickly. This is team preview. On the left, if you didn't watch the team builder, Low Kicks, Raging Bolt, Great Tusk, Florges, Mudsdale, Gholdengo, Terra, Dark, Low Kicks. On the right, we have Annihilate, Thunderous, Shaman, Garchomp, Primarina, and Alolan Muck. Thunderous is Terra Flying, he revealed to me. And right out the gate, one of the things that I like is that there's no Metagross right up front, which I think is very, very crucial to our strategy, right? I think that's going to be just absolutely like a good win for us because there is no Metagross. Metagross is thick. Metagross hits hard. It can be very versatile. I'm very happy to not have to see that here. Porygon 2 is another one that I was thinking about could be here. That could be very problematic. Kamala, as I said, I didn't think it was going to show up. So looking at the matchup, I mean, Scarf Raging Bolt is the homie right here. I mean, this guy is great. My brush is too big, so just Bear with me as I make that smaller, but this guy looks great. We're faster than, assumingly not a Scarf Annihilate. So looking at the setup here, Muck definitely helps out with some of the potential special threats on my end. Primarina obviously helps out with the dragon type moves that Raging Bolt can go for. It can be a Calm Mind setup Mon to take advantage in front of Florges. Garchomp, looking at this, to me doesn't feel Scarf. To me, this feels like more of a standard offensive Chomp going into this, so I am okay leading with my Raging Bolt. Shaman could be something. Shaman with like Seed Flare, with like the proper Seed Flare rolls, and could be something as well. Thunderous Terror Flying makes me really afraid of like a bulk up set with like acrobatics. That could be just monstrously terrifying. Scarf Annihilate also has me a little bit curious, and I think if it's a Scarf Annihilate, we have to immediately go into Gholdengo, but I'm going to go ahead and lead with the Raging Bolt here. I'm going to go on ahead and lead with the Raging Bolt here. Oh, God. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh, Lord. So everybody except for Raging Bolt is now gone. And here's Raging Bolt as our lead. Remember, he is the Choice Scarf variant. And then on Vandy's side of the field, he ends up leading with the Thundurus. Now, Thundurus, as far as it goes, again, you can't Thunder Wave me, so I'm not too like worried about this guy right here. A Draco Meteor from this range, I mean, does like detrimental damage. And again, I'm afraid of a late game like Terra Flying Acrobatic Sweeper. I don't want anything to do with this. Primarina can certainly come in, and if Primarina switches in on Raging Bolt, congratulations. Like you nailed it on the head. But also Volt Switch this is not the Volt Absorb Thundurus. This is the Prankster Thundurus. So something like a Volt Switch is going to get Raging Bolt on right back out of there, and we'll be able to get out into a little bit of a better spot there. That being said, he does swap out of the Thundurus and he goes into the Alolan Muck over here. And this guy takes like 20%, not even. I am a strong special attacker. This guy takes about 20%. So I know for a fact, a matter of a fact, this is a Salt Vest Alolan Muck. I'm certainly not going in to take two of them. That's not going to work well. What does this thing want to do to me? So based on my team comp, you know, I don't want to go on a Florges. I don't want to take the poison move. I don't want to go into Mudsdale to lose my leftovers. I don't want to take the incoming Ice Punch that could be here on here. If he makes a prediction, it goes for a Dark move, knockoff Crunch, what have you. Gholdengo doesn't want to have it. My best play here is to go into Great Tusk, and that's for two reasons. So Great Tusk is going to take an Ice Punch. That's going to be a little problematic for us if it is a very offensive set. But we're going to take the poison move very well. We resist that. We're going to take the knockoff or the dark move coming out of this thing swimmingly because we are booster speed. Booster speed is going to boost, obviously, our speed. We're going to be faster than everything. We lose our item, though. So if the dark move of choice on this Alolan Muck is knockoff, we're going to be in a pretty good position. So that being said, I swap out, hard swap from Raging Bolt into the Great Tusk here. Great Tusk takes very negligible damage from the Alolan Muck. Now, the Alolan Muck could go for something like an Ice Punch here, but it is very, very threatened. It is very threatened. And really about Great Tusk, this is a phenomenal spot to just go for bulk up, right? I can get a big hit off on really anything that wants to switch in. I think like something like Thundurus could switch in. At this point, with it being the Terra Flying set, I'm a little upset that I don't have the coverage in order to take advantage of it and to knock it out. But I can go for a bulk up because I do think this thing is going to switch. Nothing on Vandy's side of the field really wants to take that. So what does he end up doing? Well, as I sneeze, excuse me. He's going to switch out of here. He's going to switch out. He does not want this Alolan Muck to take any sort of damage. And instead, he goes into the Primarina. Primarina does not want to take the Headlong Rush by any means. So Great Tusk here is going to go for the bulk up. I'm now +1/+1, and I'm booster speed. So I am fast AF, and I'm about to hit really, really hard. I don't want to lose I don't want to lose any momentum that I have right now. I want to make sure that I'm just getting as much that didn't look like a good +1. That looked like something else. So sorry about that. But I'm +1/+1. I'm booster speed. We're going up against a Primarina. Primarina variants, depending on, I'm calculating like max HP. I'm calculating like an assault vest set for something like Florges. A +1 headlong rush has like a 12-ish% chance to knock this out. That's a big burst damage that I need in order to start poking holes through the team. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to go for a headlong rush into this Primarina, and it does like 40%, 30%. You're probably going to see it because I don't remember where exactly I cut back in, but it does super little damage. So now I know that Primarina is 252 HP, 252 defense, somewhere around there, like 252, 244, but bold, right? I mean, that is a super defensive Primarina. Primarina then turns around. I'm -1 special defense, of course, so obviously this is not going to go well for me. Moonblast goes out into the Great Tusk, and all of a sudden, Great Tusk is no more. This is being yelled at. Great Tusk is no more because of the Moonblast. I am down 5-6 off rip. I have lost a potential sweeper for the game. We have gotten a little bit of burst damage off on the Primarina, but so far the ball is really in Vandy's court based off the damage that he's put out and the damage that I've put in, quite honestly. Alolan Muck took like 25 to 30% from a Draco Meteor. Primarina took 30-ish% from a +1 headlong rush. I lost my spinner. I lost my ground type, one of my ground types, one of my breakers. So it's not looking too favorable for us. And at this point, I believe is around where I realized I was not recording. So you may get some back talk on this. But anyway, here's the battle. Hi, everybody. I'm here. I've been playing the game myself. It was probably post-commed up until this point, but now I'm live because I looked up. My anxious tick forgot that I wasn't recording, and sure enough, I wasn't recording. So here we are. We have, it is currently 5-6 Vandy's favor. They were able to knock out Great Tusk. You already know this because the post-com, but I'm just recapping you here. We're going to go into this here, into our Gholdengo. There's Drain Punch. Yep. Okay, perfect. So, Shadow Ball feels very spammable. We know that this Annihilate is max HP at most. We also live a Shadow Claw from this thing if need be. But I think just the safe play is Shadow Ball. I think a safe play is just go for a Shadow Ball. Muck can obviously switch in here. We know that I don't want to find myself in a situation where, I don't want to find myself in a situation where like this Annihilate can get a free boost off on us. Just goes for the Rage Fist. Okay. That's going to do a little bit more than I'd like it to. We do live, thankfully. And we made the right play of not going for the Nasty Plants. The Gholdengo is going to KO this guy. All right, 5-5 still. We're still in this. We'll get a little bit of leftovers recovery back so you can see that here. What comes in to revenge me now? Now between the Great Tusk going down and me forgetting to record, now I'm off my game. I got to recenter real quick. Thunderous is Terror Flying. We know that. Shaman, like I said, Shaman makes sense. I said it in the builder. Like, helps out against, like, Hyper Rain, like, Terra Water offense, which I've already brought. The Alolan Muck made sense on paper. You know, it helps out, like, taking Ghost Spam. So, like, checks out. Hi, Nexus. That is the Garchomp. Okay. So the question is, do I feel I need my Gholdengo anymore, right? What does this do? It is likely faster than Primarina, but so are a few other mons. It's likely faster than Muck, but I can't OHKO it in one clean swoop. I'm going to sack this and go for the Make It Rain here, as he goes for the Swords Dance. Yes, sir. I did not want that coming through, let me tell you. There we go. There's some chippies. Okay. So now I think I'm trying to think here. So does a +2 scale shot has to knock me out from here, right? I'm sitting at 24%? Yeah. It has to if you're loaded dice. Let's go on ahead. I'm going to let this go down. I'm going to go for another Make It Rain here. There's the Earthquake. Okay. Didn't want to overthink that. Garchomp KOs Gholdengo with Earthquake. Okay. That's fine. That is fine by me. I think Gholdengo did its job. It got good chip damage off on this. You know, I think we're in an okay spot. I'm going to go out in a Raging Bolt here. I'm going to reveal that I'm Scarfed. I know that he's not Scarfed. So this Dragon Pulse is going to hurt. And I'm just going to attack what's in front of me. Primarina very obviously comes in after this, which is totally fine. But this is a +2 Garchomp, and I need to respect that. I need to absolutely respect that. And I want to keep my Scarf run, because like I said, once Primarina goes down, Dragon Spam becomes very, very nice. Once Garchomp comes down, Electric Spam comes very, very nice. All right, we reveal that we are Scarf. That is fine. Raging Bolts. KOs Garchomp with Pulse. Beautiful. Okay, 4-4. Anybody's game. Anybody's game. All right, Primarina is in. Primarina is now. And we know you are not an offense. We know you are not. Yeah, you are very, very bulky. So let's go on ahead and swap back into Florges here. The Moonblast incoming should do about 23 to 28. Reflect. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Do I bother Calm Minding here? What is your setup that you're going for here? What is it? I'm going to Moonblast you, though. I don't trust you, so I'm going to Moonblast you. You look around 32 to 39. What you got for me? That's hot. I like that. Oh, are you Terra Flying Acrobatics Thunderous? Ooh, are you Terra Flying Acrobatics Thunderous? I love that set. I love that set. Raging Bolt handles very nicely, though, but I love that set. Withdraws. All right, cool. So something's taking a Moonblast here. Is this the Muck? Oh, it's Shaman. Okay. Oh, special attack drop, a little unfortunate. I'll take that, though. Let me get a Calm Mind here. Let me get a little Calm Mind action here. Let me understand a little bit more about this Shaman. I want to get to know you just a little bit better, you little hedgehog. What do you have for me? Like, Seed Flare makes the most sense, right? But a -1 now. I mean... Oh, and that's why you don't run Seed Flare. That's why I've never drafted Shaman a day in my life. I'm sorry, Vandy. Seed Flare misses. I'm now at +1/+1. Makes it pretty hard for... I just want to kind of gauge my Alolan Muck thoughts here, right? If I go for, like, another one... Let's just wish. Let's toss up a wish. Let's toss up a little one here, right? Let's toss up a little one here. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So if it is somehow Specs and I got the special attack drop, still doing about a quarter of my health here, so the wish will be fine. Let me just fill in my... I want to get as much of my notes here as I can. Healing Wish. Oh. Oh. He said, to hell with the Shaman. I'm gone. Okay. Shaman, Healing Wishes in front of Florges. That is fine by me. We'll get our wish up. That probably takes him into what? The Alolan Muck? Or are you healing up your Primarina? Feel like you want Primarina now that you know I'm a Scarf Raging Bolt here. Yeah, let's heal that bad boy up here. Okay. Yeah, I never want a Poison Jab or a Gunk Shot from this thing, so I'm going to toss a big ol' Wish into my Mudsdale right here. I'm going to toss a fat Wish into Mudsdale right here. Take whatever hit you want off of me. I'm here for it. Because I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it, Sam. I am. I do not. I do not. I do not. Earthquake does a pretty sizable amount of damage back to Muck, too, for what it's worth. Clear Smog. Ooh. That's the tech. I like that. That is tech right there. All right. So Earthquake seems very straightforward. Rock Slide seems like the safe play into the Thunderous. I take whatever hit he wants to go for. So I'm going to go for Rock Slide here. Trying to catch the Thundy on the switch. Because I am 2-hit KO'd by like a specially offensive variant with Grass Knots. So I would very much like to knock this thing out with or do some good damage with a Rock Slide there. The draws. All right. Could sack Primarina as well. But if I catch the Thundy here, that'll be great. Primarina. Okay. Oh, yeah. You ate that. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. I'm not looking to take a water move of any variety. Now that I know, actually, you're set. If I go out into my Raging Bolt here, how well do I take that? How well do I take the Moonblast incoming? If so. Ooh, not well. Okay. Florges is the play. Rocks would have been great, because I feel like the Rock Slide was not a good sequence of events on my end. Light Scream. There we go. Okay. I'll just rip a Moonblast here. I'll just rip a Moonblast here, right? We'll be good. Ooh! Flip turn. All right, bring in that Thundy. Bring in the Thunderous. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? Trying to get a good idea on... I think it's another one where I don't want to go for a Moonblast here into the Thunderous. Just truthfully, I don't. Simply because I am not looking to proc a Defiant here. Yeah, here comes you. Here comes you. There's my leftovers. Okay, so you right now, Reflecto is away. Okay. In the event that you go for a nasty plot behind your screens, I'm going to go for a Calm Mind here. Yep, there's the nasty plot. Okay. So I need to... Sludge Wave is 51 to 60 to me from a +2. Terra Blast is not doing that much to me. I'm going to go for the Psychic Noise here. Taunt. Oh, perfect. Okay. So I don't know if you're Prankster or not, but we're limiting the amount of moves that I feel like you could have. And with Nasty Plot, I don't think that you are Defiant then, right? I think you are especially offensive. So from here, I will just go for a Moonblast. I was worried about, like, Double Dance for a minute. All right, so now you're +4. You're scaring me a little bit. +4 Sludge Wave does not kill me. So I'm going to go for one more. And hope. All right, Terraflying Terra Blast is 65 to 76 if that is the play of choice here. Because if you're modest, even if you're modest, Sludge Wave doesn't kill me. Woo! That's some damage. All right. Rose took out the Thunderous. Thank you. Woo. All right, Florges KOs Thundy with Moonblast. All right. 2 left, Primarina and Muck. We've got some pretty substantial damage into Primarina. So I think from here... I mean, the Moonblast is chippies, right? I think I always go into, if Muck comes in... Yeah, if Muck comes in, I think I always go out into Mudsdale. Let's go into Mudsdale. Does get the poison. Looking to see if I can get... Yeah, you're like max attack adamant off that damage right there. So I think Mudsdale's in a pretty winnable position here. Especially with something like my... Oh, knocks off my leftovers. Okay, cool, cool, cool. This will do 81 to 97. Yep, that's around there. If by chance I need to preserve as much as I can. I need to preserve as much as I can here. And I'm trying to understand if I can do that right now or not. I'm going to swap into low kicks. I want to preserve Mudsdale. I want to preserve differential where I can. There's Drain Punch. Great play. Great play. And the Poison Touch happens. But here's the thing is that knockoff into max HP Muck is doing about 59 to 70. And I do not believe you to be in that range. So I'm just going to go for that. All right. Low kicks, KOs, Muck. Yup, there's the AV. Perfect. That was a good set. I love the Clear Smog. And we know Primarina's full set. Moonblast, Reflect, Light Screen, Flip Turn. So low kicks will be able to wrap this one up here. And that is a... that is going to be game. Wow. That was stressful. That was a +4 Thunderous at one point. That definitely had me feeling some type of way. I think the Shaman miss was definitely pretty crucial as well. I think that would have gotten some good chip damage off into Florges and at least put me in a situation where after the special defense drop, I had to reconsider. But all in all, I really like the tech that Vandy brought. I'm a huge fan of like Terraflying Thunderous. Swords Dance Guard Chomp, I think he made the correct play there and just like, let's go for as much like momentum as possible there. And I really like the dual screens pre-marina too. I think dual screens pre-marina was a fantastic bring. Definitely was thinking something more offensive. Like I thought Moonblast, like hyper voice, liquid voice, flip turn something else, maybe like an AV pre-marina set. I was definitely thinking on. Love the muck set. Like I talked about in the team builder, I think is like a good flex spot that could have showed up. And the clear smog I think was great, just with as much setup as I have on the team, and just how much of a fan I am, frankly, of setup. Being able to go for the clear smog and just do that, I think that was just a fantastic bring on his part. So GG's to Vandy. Go check out his channel. Link will be in the description, as well as the rest of our coaches. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like. If you're new, subscribe. We got plenty of Draft League content coming your way. All that being said, I want to remind you guys to be great and do great, and I'll see you guys next week for game day. Later.